SUEZ. Resources Revolution. Substitution of chlorine gas by mixed oxidants in the process of disinfection and purification of water. Where? Cartagena de Indias, Colombia. With more than 1 million inhabitants, Cartagena de Indias is placed as a touristic jewel of the Caribbean and parallelly as a pole of industrial and port development. SUEZ, through its operator AGUAS de Cartagena, supplies water with the commitment of contributing to the competitivity of the city and bringing welfare to its citizens since more than 20 years ago, applying innovation and knowledge. Palmira, Colombia. With more than 400,000 inhabitants, Palmira is one of the most important cities of Valle del Cauca, a few minutes away from its capital city, Cali. Known as commercial, industrial and agricultural center, this town in Colombia's southwest has one of the largest and most efficient sugar mills in the country. Here as well, SUEZ, through its operator Aqua Occidente, supplies high-quality water that supports industry and brings welfare to its people. The innovation, purification of water with mixed oxidants. SUEZ in Colombia started the removal of the use of chlorine gas in their water treatment facilities located in Cartagena and Palmira, and is replacing them by a new technology which uses salt and electricity to produce a disinfectant with a liquid solution based on chlorine or mixed oxidants. For years, chlorine gas has been used as a disinfectant in several industries due to its low cost. But actually, its multiple risk factors increase that cost when insurance fees and security protocols are added, and the risks are properly evaluated. With the implementation of this innovation, we will obtain the capacity to produce the disinfectant in the same facility in the amount required, more security than the chlorine gas provides because the main ingredient is nothing more than common salt in a solution that contains less than 1% concentration. Easier production due to an automatized process which produces oxidant only when it is necessary. More security in the purification process and therefore lower costs compared to using chlorine gas in the long term.
En Aguas de Cartagena y en Aqua Occidente nos sentimos orgullosos de disponer de la mejor solución, la más eficiente y la más responsable para desinfectar el agua potable que finalmente vamos a enviar a las casas de cada uno de nuestros clientes.
The challenge. Considering the guidelines on sustainability, security and occupational health and industrial risk, SUEZ developed this innovative solution with which the following milestones were placed. Reduction of the risks due to transport, storage and dosing of chlorine gas in highly populated zones. Reduction of risk of accidents to the workers of the company. Reduction in operational costs. Improvement in the quality of water. Reduction of emissions. The benefits. Greater oxidation potential with the mixed oxidants produced. Greater autonomy to produce the disinfectant in the amount necessary to treat water. Avoiding the risks derived from the transporters' strikes in Colombia. Reduction of biofilm in the supply network pipes. Greater retention time of a free residual chlorine value. Lower costs of OPEX versus chlorine gas. Electrochlorination, costs and safety.
Desde el Grupo SUEZ realizamos un análisis de la viabilidad técnica y económica para la sustitución del sistema de clorogas de las instalaciones que tenemos en Colombia, determinando que el proceso de electrólisis propuesto era el más eficiente desde el punto de vista técnico, económico y de seguridad industrial, tanto en el corto como en el largo plazo.
The process. In the first place, it is necessary to prepare a brine, which is a dissolution of water saturated in salt, using water that comes from the water treatment facility itself. This water, though it comes from the exit of the filtration stage, must be submitted to a softening process to guarantee the absence of impurities in the brine. Once the water passes this stage, the necessary amount of salt will be dosed in the brine deposit to guarantee that the dissolution is totally saturated. It is enough to check that in the bottom of the brine tank there is always a layer of salt of at least 20 centimeters. In the second stage of treatment, the brine is taken into an electrolytic cell, where by means of correspondent electrolytic reactions, the mix of oxidants necessary for the disinfection of water will be produced. The main product of these reactions is sodium hypochlorite, but there are also traces of other disinfectants such as hydrogen peroxide, ozone, or chlorine dioxide. Finally, the mix of disinfectants thus formed are accumulated in a tank and dosed in the tanks of contact of chlorine placed in the purification plants. The implementation of the innovation in the potable water treatment facility in Cartagena.
Para llegar a esta etapa de innovación, inicialmente tuvimos un modelo en el cual probamos el 40% de nuestra producción, que equivale aproximadamente al 1.2 metros cúbicos por segundo. Una vez probado este modelo, determinamos que era aconsejable continuar con el proceso.
Pilot phase. To do that, we built a building where to store the salt, the water softening system, a brine tank, 2 electrolytic cells and the disinfectant accumulation tank. This work was carried out in 2016 and lasted approximately 6 months. After the good results obtained, we decided to continue with the transformation process in all other facilities of the SUEZ group in Colombia. Consolidation phase. During 2018, we finished the transformation of Cartagena's purifying plant into the mixed oxidants system by the implementation of the second stage of the project, which covered the remaining 60% to complete the whole of the treatment.
Con esta innovación hemos optimizado el proceso de desinfección, así como hemos mitigado el riesgo de accidente, tanto para nuestros empleados como para los vecinos de nuestra planta.
The implementation of the innovation in the potable water treatment facility in Palmira.
Con este sistema se han logrado unos avances verdaderamente importantes, como es una mejora en la parte de coagulación en la misma planta y un control de la biopelícula ya en la parte de distribución, garantizando el mismo nivel de cloro residual con el que se debe garantizar el agua a los usuarios.
The future. In Cartagena de Indias, we are building a new treatment facility called El Cerro, which will have a treatment capacity of 2 cubic meters per second. This plant is planned to be built in phases, depending on the city's demand increase for the first phase, which will start working during 2019. We plan to provide the disinfection system with a unit of generation of mixed oxidants with characteristics similar to those in the other water treatment systems managed by SUEZ in Colombia. Innovation for safety and health. We improved the safety and the health of our workers by avoiding the need of constantly checking the security systems that chlorine leakages demand. We reduced the industrial risk by eliminating the need of performing chlorine leakage drills frequently or the possible breaking of the service's continuity. More safety for the community, with lower truck traffic, will reduce completely the risk of producing an emission of a gas cloud with adverse effects on health. We improved the quality of water by reducing the potential of trihalomethanes formation. Reducing the carbon footprint is our commitment.
Hemos reducido la huella de carbono de la compañía. Hemos mejorado el relacionamiento con la comunidad ante la reducción de un riesgo significante. Y además, hemos mejorado los costes operativos de la empresa por la eliminación del clorogas. La imagen de la compañía ha crecido en positivo.
Resources Revolution. SUEZ.